I should say NASDAQ instead of S&P. It's a higher risk trade because you've got the NASDAQ. I was looking at it historically. It can get annihilated in recessions. But I think in terms of if I had to park at one place, that'd be it.
Last thoughts, just sort of like, if we can go round robin here of best idea. And I hate this question because we all know that it's a stupid question. Nobody knows what happens next year. But if you had to, put all your money into one trade next year, what would it be? And I'll put Nick on the spot first. All your money into one trade next year, where would you go?
For a whole year, man, that is tricky. I think the probably the answer I would gravitate to would probably be long S&P. I mean, I know you have recession fears and that sort of thing, and I saw some interesting stat that usually the announcement of a recession happens before a rally, and that's kind of like sketchy. But then again, that whole thing with the Biden administration, trying to quantify whether or not it was a recession, I don't know. To me, it was like the standard definition it was. The current.
So you actually think the recession is done? Like
No. I'm not saying I think it's done. I'm just saying, in terms of the definition, right? The two consecutive GDP outputs. But I think I think we're in the midst of it. We're going into it.
You think we're in the middle of a recession, and that means that we probably the market is going to anticipate the turn out of a recession by next year, and we get a rally by the end of the year. Interesting.
I think in terms of I should say NASDAQ instead of S&P. It's a higher risk trade because you've got the NASDAQ. I was looking at it historically. It can get annihilated in recessions. But I think in terms of if I had to park at one place, that'd be it.
Interesting. Wow, that's a high risk bet. Okay, Miki probably is going to be on the opposite side of that. He's going to be just hoarding his gold for 2023. What do you think? All your money in one instrument.
Where do you put all my money in one trade for 2022?
Yeah, 23 for 23.
Sorry, 2023. Yeah. I probably long gold.
Okay, interesting. Sabrina, what about you? Pound yen?
Oh, she's muted.
I think you're muted.
Am I?
Oh, yeah, there you are. No, now we hear you. What were you saying?
Okay. I think cable does have some upside. I like the new government, and I think they will sort themselves out, and they will come out probably better than the European, the continental.
Wow. Okay. That is an out of consensus view from every angle. I love it because nobody thinks UK is going to do better than Europe right now.
Look at Europe. You have from Portugal, Spain, Italy, which is an absolute nightmare. You have all the new European members. They're all nightmares. And everybody's looking at the UK and thinks they haven't got their shit together. I think they have the most capable premier now. And he does it not because
I would say he's the best man for the job right now for sure. Whether that's going to be enough, it remains to be seen. But that's interesting. It's a really interesting. That is a super interesting view, long cable. I think nobody's thinking that right now. What about you, Peter? What do you think? All your money, one trade, 23. Where do you go?
Wow. Crypto, right? Obviously. Whether if I was to have to place it right now with a gun to my head, I'm going long. If we're going to go like
really,
I still think that if I was taking a big trade that's going to go for a long period of time. I'm saying if a trade that's going to play out this week, it's going down.
Right.
But if I'm looking long term, you've got the downside versus the upside is crazy.
Really?
The upside for Bitcoin, like every time we get these kind of bear markets and the news is like super tragic and it's going to zero and this, it's just buy the market. Anytime JP Morgan or someone tells you it's going to go to 300K, then sell it. Literally, you can plot this on a chart. You can see whenever one of the big banks tells you it's going to go up, then it goes down the next day.
I think we just need Miki to annotate, everybody's idiotic predictions, and they're pretty much like concur, pretty much at the peak of whatever instrument that's happening.
It's 300% upside to a potential downside of like, I don't know, 35% right now, I think.
There's a lot of out of consensus views here. I'm very, very, very happy to have them. Dave, what about you? What do you think is, you know?
I think I'll take a twist on the dollar yen and say I'd be short CAD yen for 2023.
Short CAD yen. So basically, you bullish yen, but you think CAD falls. This, by the way, we didn't talk at all about oil, and I don't know if anybody has any views on oil. But oil, I think, surprised the hell out of people because all the oil analysts, especially every person who's like, I've been an oil analyst for 25 years and we're going to $150 a barrel this year, has just had egg on their face so bad this year. So, I mean, I'm just curious, any views on that, or do you think that oil kind of stays low so that helps to depress the caddy, or it's just that's not the reason?
It's not the reason for me to take the trade, but obviously if oil goes down, that would certainly probably give a boost to CAD yen moving lower. I just think the yen trade is a little overdone to the upside, meaning short yen.
Right.
And just the technicals, and again, I hate to get into the fundamentals because I usually don't trade it from that way, but maybe there's something coming on the horizon up in Canada from a housing perspective. That could add some weight.
That's a bubble that
Dave is right. The housing
that's a bubble.
Crazy.
That's a bubble that definitely
it is crazy, but goodness God, I mean, for 2 years we've been talking about that, and
usually, we all know that those things, like the longer you talk about it, the sharper the sell-off. We've all been around long enough to know that when it cracks, it's going to crack horribly. And so, it's having a son in Vancouver real estate. Trust me, my nose is very close to the ground on that.